likelihood is you have spent most Christmases of your life at home with your family. So spending 1 or 2 Christmases in a different way, whether that's on a ship or maybe this year you're not doing what you traditionally do, it's okay, it's something new. Enjoy it, lean into it, you might find that you actually like it. Hey sailors, welcome back to Cruising Us Crew. I am Lucy, and can you believe it is nearly Christmas in like 2 days? Unbelievable. So as it's nearly Christmas, I thought I would make a video going through what it's like to celebrate Christmas when you're working on board a cruise ship. Obviously this year I am at home, but I have spent a lot of previous Christmases on board, and I know that there's a lot of you watching that want to start your cruise ship career in 2021, which means that you might be spending next Christmas on board a cruise ship. So today I'm going to go through some things that you should bear in mind. I'm going to go through the pros and cons of spending Christmas on a cruise ship, and I'm going to suggest some things that you can do to make it feel a little bit more Christmassy on board. Before we start, please press subscribe and do me a little Christmas favour and press the like button, because it lets YouTube know that these videos are good and then they will recommend them to other people. But as for now, let's get into the video. So Christmas on board a cruise ship. It is both the most Christmassy way you could spend Christmas and the least Christmassy way you could spend Christmas. Let me explain. Cruise lines go absolutely all out. So at the beginning of December, there is going to be Christmas decorations everywhere. There's glitter everywhere, tinsel everywhere, Christmas trees. There's Christmassy events going on all month for both the passengers and the crew. There's Christmas songs playing over the sound system, and actually by the end of December, Jingle Bells is like just the worst thing you've ever heard because it's played so much. Having constant Christmas songs playing, it does get you in the Christmassy mood. There's Christmas films on in the theatre for both passengers and crew to watch. Like, there's just so much going on to get you in the Christmassy spirit. However, Christmas, it's all about spending time with your family, and if you're on a cruise ship, you're not going to be spending it with your family. Newsflash! So you will get homesick. As you know, I've been working on cruise ships for about 5 years, and I wouldn't say I don't get homesick. I love my family and I do miss them, but I don't really get homesick. I got homesick a little bit on my first contract, and ever since then, not really, except at Christmas. Everyone gets homesick at Christmas, even if you don't celebrate Christmas. Some of my Indian friends who didn't celebrate Christmas, even they were homesick during Christmas. So 90% of crew members, whether they celebrate Christmas or not, are gonna be feeling homesick. You're all alone together. So it kind of makes it better that everyone is going through the same thing. Everyone's feeling homesick. First, we are going to go through the pros of spending Christmas on board as a crew member. So the first one is all the activities that the crew welfare department are going to put on for the crew. You know, it's things like pin the nose on Rudolph, snowmen bowling, who could make the best gingerbread house, or they'll do like a little market. So at the end of the M1, they'll have like a mulled wine stand, or they'll have some like Christmas cakes. And then one year, the officers, they dressed up as elves. I think, on one ship, the captain dressed up as Santa, and they made this makeshift sleigh. So on every cruise ship you're going to have forklifts, because you have deliveries. Obviously you need the forklifts to lift the pallets, and what some of the crew members had spent their time doing is making this forklift look like a sleigh. It was really cool. So the captain, Santa, was sat on the sleigh, and you could sit on the forklift sleigh with him and have a ride up and down the M1. You know, it's just a lot of fun. There's just always something going on, whether that is something special in the mess for lunch or for dinner, or there's a market, or there's a Christmas film on, or maybe the cast are going to put a Christmas show on, or the shops are going to have a Christmas cruise sale, or there's just always stuff going on that adds to the Christmassy vibes. It is such a fun time to be working on a cruise ship. And the other thing, obviously there are multiple nationalities on board a cruise ship. Not everyone is going to celebrate Christmas, but everyone can get involved in the activities. There's no rules about not participating in that. So although you may not all be celebrating on the actual day, it's like a celebration all month, and it just brings everyone together. So as I have said, when you go on a cruise ship, you are going to make really amazing friendships, because you are in such an intense, such a close environment. So although you are not going to be spending Christmas with your actual family, you are going to be spending Christmas with your new crew family. And that is sometimes just as good as spending it at home with your actual family, because you just have such a laugh. Everyone gets involved in Secret Santa. Obviously, it's optional. Like in the shops, there were people in our team who didn't celebrate Christmas and they didn't want to do Secret Santa, and that's absolutely fine. But then some people didn't celebrate Christmas, but they were like, you don't get involved. And because you are all away from your actual families and you realise that the people around you might feel lonely, it's a really big bonding time. Like, everyone seems to be very caring and uplifting, and it's just so lovely to be surrounded by your friends. You make loads of money. People who choose to go on a cruise for Christmas, the passengers, they're generally so nice around Christmas because they're like, oh, they feel sorry for you. They're like, oh, crew, they're away from their family at Christmas, poor them. So they give you loads of tips. And it's brilliant. So especially if you work in the spa or you're a waiter, a barman, you will definitely get tips. But even people who don't usually get tips, like shop staff or the receptionists or cruise staff, everyone seems to get tips at Christmas. And in the shops, we hit target because obviously people are like, I need to get a Christmas present, so everyone's buying stuff. So that's another pro. You make a lot more money. Christmas dinner. You are going to be having Christmas dinner in the mess with possibly 200 other crew members. Now, okay, you're not going to be all sat on the same table, but you're all going to be in the same room, and the energy is just electric. You know, there's crackers on the tables, there's silly hats, there's silly jokes. They really try and make it your typical Christmas, and you're in this room having Christmas dinner with all these amazing people who you're friends with, and it's just great. And there's such a huge array of food. As I said, not everyone celebrates Christmas, so some people will not be having Christmas dinner. I think on my last ship, Oceania, there was like, there was like 23 desserts. The amount of food is just quite incredible, really. And that's just for the crew. You know, they have a separate Christmas dinner going on for the passengers. So Christmas dinner is really lovely. Like, the atmosphere is just brilliant. And the last pro is the Christmas party. There are 3 parties on cruise ships that are unbeatable. It's the Christmas party, the New Year's party, and Indian Independence Day. Comment down below if you've been to an Indian Independence Day party on a cruise ship, because it is literally the best night of your life. Anyway, the Christmas party is also amazing because everyone comes out for it. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you will know that there are usually parties quite a lot on cruise ships in the crew bar, but not everyone comes to them. It might be a party, but only like 50 people come, which sounds like a lot, but it's not a lot when there's like 800 crew members on board. However, for the Christmas and the New Year party, everybody comes out. So it's electric. Everyone's so happy. It's just honestly like the best way you can spend Christmas. So even if you're homesick during Christmas Day or you're working Christmas Day and you're like, oh my God, I wish I was at home, you won't wish you were at home when it comes to Christmas evening, because you're gonna have the best night of your life. It's just great. It really, really is wonderful. The Christmas party is definitely a big reason to celebrate Christmas on board. Okay, so now moving on to the cons. Obviously the first one is homesickness. As I said, I'm not usually a person that gets homesick, but I get homesick at Christmas, and so does most of the crew. And although it's kind of easy to snap out of it because there's so much going on, you are going to think about your family a lot on Christmas Day. And it's just something to be aware of. You are going to feel homesick, and it's completely normal if you feel homesick. You know, for multiple reasons. Obviously, you're not spending Christmas with your family. You might be in a completely different time zone, which is really weird actually. Like, when I celebrated Christmas in Australia, it was really strange that when my Christmas Day was finishing, theirs was beginning. So I didn't get to speak to them on Christmas, which was both brilliant and awful. Obviously, it feels really strange not to speak to your family on Christmas Day. However, through experience, I find that if I speak to my family, I actually miss them more. So sometimes it's better just to like block them out. I know that sounds really harsh, but sometimes it's better to block them out and just call them like on Boxing Day, when you're not so like emotionally charged. One of my first Christmases away from home, I managed to call them and I just cried for like the rest of the day. So if you don't get a chance to speak to them on Christmas Day, like, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because then you don't really know what you're missing. Like, if you call them on Christmas Day and they're like, oh, your granddad's just arrived and the turkey's in the oven, if they describe the scene for you, it makes you feel worse because you're like, oh, I want to be there, I'm not there. But yeah, so homesickness is definitely like the biggest con about spending Christmas, but not even just on a cruise ship, about spending Christmas away from home. And I'm sure a lot of us are going to experience that this year, you know? Okay, we might not be on a cruise ship, but there's a lot of people who are not going to be able to see their families on Christmas Day. So you're going to be able to practice. Nah, but it's rubbish. It is rubbish, but you will get to spend Christmas with them again, like next year or another year. Then you have to try and focus on what you do have rather than what you're missing out on. I am almost certain you are going to be working on Christmas Day. I am certain you will be working on Christmas Day. It's really not as bad as it sounds, and obviously if you had a job on land you might be working on Christmas Day. But don't be thinking that you're gonna get to spend a nice Christmas Day chilling out. You absolutely will not. You're gonna be rushed off your feet. The spa is absolutely manic on Christmas Day, but as I said in the pros list, you will make a load of money. The shops, absolutely manic. Like pretty much every department on Christmas Day, especially the food and beverage department, you are going to be rushed off your feet. But it gives you less time to think about the fact that you're homesick. So there's not really that many cons, and I can honestly say, hand on heart, I have loved the Christmases that I've spent on board, and they're really memorable. You know, obviously spending Christmas at home is lovely, but the likelihood is you have spent most Christmases of your life at home with your family. So spending 1 or 2 Christmases in a different way, whether that's on a ship or maybe this year, you know, you're not doing what you traditionally do, it's okay, it's something new. Enjoy it, lean into it, you might find that you actually like it. And yeah, celebrating Christmas on a cruise ship is amazing. Like, yes, you will be homesick. Yes, the crew member that's got you for Secret Santa isn't going to spoil you as much as your mum probably would. And yes, you are going to be working, but just remember the Christmas party because it makes it all worth it. But anyway, some things you can do to make it feel more Christmassy. Absolutely get yourself an advent calendar. You will be able to get off in port sometime in November and buy yourself an advent calendar. And also get your roommate an advent calendar. On one of my ships, I celebrated Christmas with a really good friend of mine, but she did not celebrate Christmas. She had never celebrated Christmas before, but she really leaned into it. She was like, you know what, although it's not like my holiday and I don't celebrate this at home, I want to experience it. So we got a little Christmas tree for the cabin. We had tinsel everywhere. I got her an advent calendar, which she was completely mind blown by. She was like, oh my God, so you get like a sweet every day? And I'm like, yes. We did Secret Santa. It wasn't Secret Santa but we got each other a present. So it can be really nice actually. If you do have a roommate who doesn't celebrate Christmas, hopefully they will be open to, I mean, not turning to Christianity. You're not trying to turn them, but you have to be open to new things and open-minded to work on a cruise ship. So usually people are happy to just like lean into it and try and celebrate something new. Just like, you know, I like celebrating Diwali. It's not my holiday, but I enjoy celebrating it when I'm on board. As I said, the crew welfare department works so hard to get Christmassy food for the crew and put on all these games and all these like Christmassy markets and activities, and they put Christmas films in the theatre, and maybe the cast will do like a Christmas performance. They work so hard to make Christmas as good as possible for the crew, and all you have to do is turn up and have a good time. All I would say is just make the effort, even if you've had a really busy day at work and you're really tired and you know there's some Christmas event on but you're like, I just want to get into bed. Just go for half an hour, show your face, and I promise it will put you in a better mood. But anyway, thank you so much for watching as always, and I just hope you have an incredible Christmas. And if you're not spending it with your family this year for whatever reason, then this isn't forever. It's one Christmas that you are unable to spend with your family, and hopefully next Christmas it'll all be back to normal. Lean into it, embrace it, make the most of it. But if you have enjoyed this video, please press the like button and the subscribe button. It just means the world to me, really it does. And yeah, happy Christmas. I hope you have the best day, but I will see you in the next video.